Today, I'm going to be discussing the astrology of January 2nd through 4th of this year. So we are officially at the beginning of 2024. So that's very, very exciting. And I'm going to start talking about the lunar transit that is occurring during these 3 days, which is the moon being in the sign of Libra. So the moon's going to enter Libra on January 2nd. It's going to stay until the 4th. And then on January 5th, it's going to switch into the deep and intense sign of Scorpio. So the focus here is about pleasing others. It really comes down to wanting to bring more diplomacy to the stage, wanting to bring more peace for everyone, getting to know each other, and everyone communicating and connecting in very kind ways where people are open to what everyone has to say and we're open to the various opinions and the different perspectives and the knowledge out there that everyone is entitled to their own opinion and everyone deserves to have their own opinion. Now that becomes very important to understand because we generally want um people to be included and we want peace between other people. We want to develop harmony within the spaces and places that we enter into during this time. Now, another aspect of this is that we have what is known as aesthetics to the environment. So the moon in Libra is very connected with beauty and connected with everything very beautiful, very discreet, very pretty. And so we really care about how our environments look and how we want them to be in our physical reality. So we really care about what we decorate our life with. So we're concerned about beauty during the moon in Libra. So thinking about how we can make our environment more beautiful, putting red hangers up on the clothing line and putting paintings of Picasso on the walls. Now, both of those two things are things that are very unique to whoever decorates the environment. And it's really about your own personal beauty because we all have different tastes and we all have different spaces of what we describe and define as beautiful. So it's time to think about our environment and how emotionally nourishing it is on an intellectual level. So we're thinking about how balanced is our environment, how beautiful is our environment. And so this really comes down to putting ourselves aside in order to create peace and harmony. We're putting ourselves aside and we're really thinking about our relationships. We're really thinking about the other and the benefit of having a relationship. Now, there's going to be a time where the south node of the moon is going to be coming into an exact conjunction with the moon, and that's going to bring up some unhealthy tendencies of Libra, which could be people pleasing or codependency. So, those issues we're going to also take a look at because the south node always highlights the shadow side of whatever sign that it's moving through. So, we have the South Node in Libra revealing where we are taking our relationships to the extreme, because the South Node points to the aspects of the sign that we are releasing. So this is great for teamwork, cooperating with others, collaborating with other people. It's generally very good for that. And so creating more balance in our lives is really what the moon in Libra is about. Then on January 3rd, we have the sun coming into a square with the moon. Now, this is known as the this is the third quarter moon when we had the new moon in Sagittarius on December 12th. We recently had a full moon in Cancer on December 26th. And now we have a quarter moon. So the sun is squaring with the moon. Whenever we have a square, think of like, wrestlers in a match. They're fighting. We have the people fighting. We have the conflict. And squares bring about action. They want us to act. They're aspects of tension. And because of that tension, we use that to create action, to create change, and to release what doesn't serve us anymore. So with the sun squaring the moon, we have tensions. There could be some tensions, there could be some intensity when it comes to family and emotional issues. So there could be this tug of war where you're fighting against your family for some type of emotional issue that may be going on. It may be a war, it may be a conflict, an emotional one with family. You may have your opinions and beliefs lined up on the street, and the other person has their beliefs lined up on the street. And so it represents a clash. The sun, which is your ego and your conscious awareness, in the moon, your instincts, your emotional, subjective sense of reality, and your unconscious are at odds during this time. So that's how it can really look. So it could be that the head and the heart don't get along as they usually do. That you may have a thought and then your heart may be saying something completely different than your head. It may be an oppositional kind of conflict or a square, 90 degrees. The sun is in Capricorn, the moon is in Libra. They're both in the same mode, so they square each other. So possibly negative emotions, fear, jealousy, anger, envy, lust, hate. All those kind of emotions may rise up during this time, and you may be more consciously attuned to those emotions. So there could be conflicts with the ego as well, where your soul and your emotions and your ego may want different things, or there may be egos, individuals clashing and fighting with one another in emotional ways. One wants something to be all lickety split, and the other person wants something else to be the same way. And so we have a fight. So when it comes to an opposition in astrology, the two luminaries or planets involved edge away from each other. But when we have a square, they are actively fighting one another. And so this could be one ego and the needs and wants of that ego and the needs and wants of another ego. An ego might get bruised and shattered during this particular time. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. So it's a good thing to keep your ego in check, that you're not on the decline of humanity, on the decline of what could be the use of this energy where you're fighting and you're, being destructive against somebody. But on the upside, you can use this square to take action and emotionally nourish yourself and use your ego in the best of ways. So there could also be some negative habit patterns that may get lifted and brought into conscious awareness. Habit patterns such as any kind of emotional manipulation or anything that is unhealthy for your body or mind that you engage in. So those could be sort of lifted up into the conscious awareness of people during this time. And so it's a good idea to not take things so personally with somebody saying something to you, Because what people say is really a projection of their own reality. And it's important to take it at face value, to not take it personally, to have healthy detachment, for that not take it as a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. So that's what it comes down to. So there could be some tense emotions that you may be feeling during this time. So that's something to really keep in mind. Now, on January 4th, Mars is going to enter Capricorn and it's going to stay there until February 13th. So, what this could mean is deliberate and persistent efforts. You're really persisting towards what you want to achieve in your life. You're very steadfast. You're very committed towards your goals and your desires. And it's a good idea to think about the consequences of your actions. What am I going to do? And what is the result of what I'm going to be doing? What am I doing and how is it going to impact my future? So how are my actions going to impact what's going to happen next? What are the repercussions or the karmic benefits or disadvantages will come out of what I'm going to do? That's really something to think about the results of what you end up doing. If I cross the street and a car is coming toward me, I might get hit. If I don't show up to work and I don't email anybody that I'm not showing up to work, there could be confusion, delay, and frustration. Those are the kind of things to be thinking about. Now, reliability. This is a really, really big piece of this because Capricorn is a very reliable, steadfast sign. It represents the maturity that we gain as we age, and it represents being a solid rock, the backbone for other people to rely on. And Capricorn certainly has skin in the game and is a backbone sign. And so Capricorns believe in integrity and reliability at all costs. Capricorns believe in being there, showing up, doing the work, sticking it out. So this Mars in Capricorn could be wonderful for doing just that, for arriving, for sticking it out, for sort of showing up and doing your due diligence and getting the work done that you need to achieve what you want in your life, what you need in your life, the tasks that you need to do, be it taking care of children or taking care of your family or washing the dishes, or it could be working on a project that leads you further towards your goals. So whatever it might mean for you. Now, there could be irritability when frustrated. So, feeling irritable or being negative or pessimistic may be a downside of Capricorn, something to keep in mind. Now, this is a wonderful transit for realism, for really getting to the core of what is real and what is practical and pragmatic. It's about mapping out our decisions and actions one step at a time before actively, going after them, before taking action, planning it out, mapping it out. So, thoroughness with our work. What is it that we're doing, and what is the quality that I'm putting into my work? What is the quality results that are going to come out of this? Am I really putting my all into what I am doing or not? Because Capricorn is all about what you put in to what you do. It's about the quality effort of it, the sheer sense of integrity that you have towards whatever you're doing. So our actions could be more planned out, more measured during this time. And so there's a great need here to be in control of your life, to really have all the balls squared away, to really have everything in your life all hunky-dory, if you know what I mean, when it comes to having everything taken care of, because there's a need to be in control. And this is a good transit to take control of your life in general. So this is great for planning out goals and aspirations that are long-lasting and meant to be lasting for the long term. Ignore the phone. So this is great for efficiency, working and being productive, and also creating structure, creating routine. Capricorn represents the structures of your life that you put into every single day that you wake up, and what you do that determines your future, and what you do in the present moment that determines what will happen next. So what are the structures of your life, and how are they working out for you? Are they serving you, or are they hindering you? So this is great to reassess the structures of our life and to create structure in our lives and in areas of our lives that do not have a structure already. So now we're going to be moving on to the last aspect, which is on January 5th. And right before the moon shifts into the dark and intense sign of Scorpio, the moon squares Pluto at the very end of the sign of Capricorn, because Pluto's in Capricorn, and on January 20th, Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius for most of this year. He'll dip back into Capricorn in September and fully enter into Aquarius in November. But so, um, yeah, so we have this aspect. And one thing to say about Mars in Capricorn is it's a very determined placement, a very determined signature for us to achieve success. So when the moon squares Pluto, we have intensity, intense emotions, sort of similar to the sun square moon aspect. So there could be some deeply buried feelings that come to the surface that may be negative or may be deep. And there may be some compulsive behavior patterns with whatever we're doing that may be brought to the surface during this time. Because Pluto wants to unearth things. Pluto wants to bring things to the surface, dig up all the dirt to find the real jewels that are hidden way down in there. So what is it that you compulsively do? And how can you bring awareness to that? And also maybe use that compulsivity productively to compulsively channel your energy into something that you enjoy doing, into something that you like to do, and something that is important for you. So this could result in some destructive behavior that could be brought up to the surface with whatever behavior that you're showing to your relationships, or the people in your life, um, or just some destructive behavior to yourself. So that may be something to look at, as to bring awareness to that destructive behavior and to really find a remedy and find a loving for those shadowy aspects of yourself, and some compassion and acceptance of what you have done already, of what you are doing right now that is compulsive. So bringing some acceptance and taking action in the moment to curb the destructive and compulsive behavior pattern with love, with acceptance, with patience. So there could also be some power struggles with family members that could come up to the foreplay here. And there could also be some conflict, but we can use this conflict in order to transform our lives, in order to change and grow and evolve our lives. Like, what is the lesson when you get into conflict with somebody? What is the lesson behind this conflict that I am engaging in? There could also be some darker aspects of human nature, racism, bullying, and those kind of things could come to the forefront here. And this is generally the signature of transformations of emotions and relationships. So your emotions could get transformed just like your relationships could get transformed. So now's the time to feel those feelings, to be present with them. And also, what is most valuable to you? What are you passionate about? What are you passionate about that you want to focus your energy into so you can use that focus, that power that you have to direct your willpower and your energy into something that you enjoy doing, into something that's valuable for you, and get it achieved. So that is all I have to say about the astrology of these couple of days, and I will see you to talk about the horoscope for next time. Bye for now.